Hello, and welcome back to the studio. I'm Dr. Wigo, and today we're going to have fun with USB on the new iPhone. You know, it has USB. As you know, if you watch the channel, a while back I did a video, which I'll link up here, about enclosures for M.2 NVMe drives. And I got a whole wide variance of speeds on both my MacBook Air and on my PC downstairs. Now I can attach them to my iPhone. So we're going to see how they do with the iPhone. But that's not all. No. I've also got a dock hub. I don't know what you call them. They call it a USB-C multifunction adapter. And we're going to try some of this stuff out. You may remember there was another video I'll link down below where I got this portable card reader and card carrying case. And we'll try that out too. So we're going to try out a wide variety of devices on the iPhone 15 Pro Max USB port and see how it does. I'm hopeful. As always, I have not tried any of this before because I figure it's more fun if we do it together. And I figure that's why you watch this channel. If you wanted slick, you'd go watch one of the big channels. I just fumble along and y'all can come fumbling with me and we'll see how this works. First, let's test these drive enclosures. What I've done is I've downloaded a disk speed test app for the iPhone. It's called Disk Test. Let's try this guy, which is the Crucial. There we go, G4 Crucial P3. Open, and let's see what it does. 1,500 megabytes write. Now that was with the, I think the tiny. Let's go with a big one. Try that again. Yeah, with the bigger file sizes, it's substantially slower. So we get 967 write and 687 read. And if you recall this guy, the Crucial on the Mac, it was 2,200 reads and 2,000 writes. I'll put these numbers up somewhere. So much faster on the MacBook Air, but still not bad. See, it's the little one. Remember, this is the slow one. This is the Gen 3 Intel drive that I had for like 2 computers ago that I replaced with something faster and bigger. And on the MacBook, 900 reads, 792 writes. Let's see how it does. 1,400 writes, 561. But remember, that's with the tiny data size. Well, 500 megabytes isn't tiny. Let's go to 10 gig. On the Mac, it was 792 writes, and here it's 962. So this is actually performing better with the iPhone. I'll put the numbers up so you can compare. It read faster, the Mac reads it faster, but this writes to it faster. And since the main use of these things is to get stuff off of the phone, not put on the phone, you care more about writes than about reads, and that's pretty damn handy. Well, in fact, while we're here, let me hit my action button. Okay, so now I'm on video. What, do you have to do something to make it recognize that there's an external drive? All the videos, they just plug in the thing and it works. The camera app only looks for the USB when you're in ProRes. If I turn off the ProRes, it turns off the USB. So it only writes out to the USB in ProRes. But moving on, this isn't the fun part. The fun part is some of this other stuff. For example, this little guy. So this is the little card reader, card carrying case I got for traveling, which I can now plug in here via USB. Wait, untitled? That's it. Okay, it's pretty slow, but it works. 145 megabytes per second write, and you're mainly going to be writing. 85 megabytes per second read, which is very slow. But again, into the phone, you won't be reading off this. This would be for writing too. If you're trying to, if I'm on the road, I don't have one of these little guys with me, I can write it to here. So that works. Wind this cable. This is the hardest part about this thing, is winding this cable back around so that it slots in just fine. Boom. Okay, now let's get to the fun new thing. It's like a surprise unboxing. Now I picked this particular USB hub, or what do they call it, multi-function adapter, because it was used in several these kinds of videos where people were fooling around with USB on the iPhone. But the thing I liked about this is it has Ethernet. And I want to know if the iPhone will pick up the Ethernet. So let's run speed test. Now this is my Wi-Fi, and the router is about, I don't know, 50, 60 feet that way through several walls. Yeah, this is much slower than I get in my living room. But 301's not bad. If you were to take an Ethernet jack and plug that in here, what's going to happen? I have no idea. So let me go to settings and see if... Oh, look, it says Ethernet. Well, we just ran speed test, and we know that if it's on Wi-Fi, it's going to be about 300. Oh, baby. Yeah, I have gigabit. So with gigabit Ethernet, I'm getting pretty much gigabit on my phone. Just with this little thing plugged into an Ethernet jack. Now, I know. How often are you at a place where you can plug your phone into an Ethernet jack? But if you have one, wait, upload still sucks because, Comcast. 300 to 939. That's a big difference. Now, again, my Wi-Fi is much faster downstairs. It's probably more like 600-700. So, but it's still faster. Well, that's fun. It also has HDMI out. Now, I know this works because I've seen it on other videos. Tell you what, I'll go test it later, and then right here it'll say, yes, it worked. I'm sorry. Clearly, I don't know enough planning for these videos, but you know that if you watch the channel. I just kind of wing it. It looks like it has a USB-C here on the side, but it's not. That is for power. If you want to plug in or putting this as a hub onto your computer, that is not for plugging in other USB-C devices. A lot of times USB devices need more power than the phone is going to put out. So you can plug this into a power bank or into a wall charger, and it will empower the USB-A devices over here. But of course you can get a USB-A to USB-C converter. So you can basically plug anything on here. And in fact, in the little instruction book, some of the examples it has, let me not put my head in the way, mice, keyboards, HDDs, it has the Ethernet. It's gigabit Ethernet is on the end here, which is what I got. And then the HDMI out for a projector or monitor. By the way, I am never going to use a mouse or a keyboard with my phone. And if you want to see that, you can go watch other videos because there's other people that have tested that. And yes, it works. I mean, they turn the phone sideways and they're typing and they're using a mouse. I'm old. My eyes aren't that good. An iPad I could do that with. And now, by the way, this thing will also work with an iPad. No reason not to. The impressive thing to me is the Ethernet. And Apple knew because Ethernet just pops right up. I guess they used to have a Lightning to Ethernet port. That's why. I don't know what else to tell you. That was a lot of fun for me, fooling around with this. Wish I'd planned ahead for once. I could have had an HDMI cable connected to a TV so you could see my... It's not that impressive. It's your iPhone on a TV. Although you can get like full screen YouTube videos and stuff. So you could see me on a big screen TV off your phone. Don't do it. I look better small where you can't see the wrinkles. So mixed results. I'm very disappointed about having to use only working with ProRes. I wish there was like a button on the camera app where you could just say, but it works as advertised. You can copy files off and on. Can't shoot video direct to it unless you use the ProRes. Well, that's a little bit disappointing. I do have the HDMI out possibility. I do have the Ethernet jack and 3 USB devices. Again, mice, keyboards, more of these guys. Okay, so maybe it wasn't worth a whole video, but it was fun. Now, next week, we're going to be done with the Apple stuff for a brief while. I bought another lens. Tune in next week. You'll see all about it. It's very cool. That was my USB madness on the iPhone, you can basically plug almost any USB device that Apple ever considered you plugging into it. So like the Ethernet they were ready for, the keyboards they're ready for, the mice they're ready for, the disk drives they're ready for, card readers they're ready for. They're ready for a lot of stuff for you to plug in. And as you saw, it just works. Overheating update. It did it again. It overheated in standby, ran the battery almost all the way down overnight while it was supposed to be charging. How can it use so much power that it's not only using up the power in the battery, there's power coming into the battery and it's using that up faster than it's coming in because the battery's running down. It's annoying. So I said, well, I probably got some app. So I went through last night, closed all my apps, made sure there was the only thing running were my white noise, which runs every night, and my Apple Music, and woke up this morning and it was 50. It run through 50%. In fact, when I put it on the charger, I noticed that it was at 85% battery, and this morning it was at 50%. Standby, big fail for me. So that's my report on my iPhone. I'm very happy with it, except standby mode, which is maddeningly still not working. I'm sure it's a software thing. They'll figure out a way. But in the meantime, it's just annoying. Oh, and by the way, do not do a Google search because people have had problems with their battery draining and standby on iPhones for years, and there's just millions of hits. And even you put in iOS 17, nothing narrows it down. That's it for the iPhone for a while. Again, I'll be back next week with a lens, but it's a really cool lens. Wait, come back, check it out. So I'll see you next time. Thanks for stopping by. Bye-bye. You never know what you're going to hear at the end. Thanks for staying to the end. Bye-bye.